Look at your palm right now. Do you see it, that faint M? Or maybe a crescent moon, curving quietly beneath your skin if you do. Stop scrolling, because that's not just a line. That's a sign, a symbol carried across centuries, whispered in ancient texts, passed down in stories few remember today. And you were never supposed to be ordinary. That mark, it chose you. Most people never notice it. They think it's just another crease, just another random pattern. But those marks, they've been showing up in ancient texts, whispered in old wisdom, passed down through generations, and they've always meant something, a sign you were set apart. I remember feeling it long before I knew what it meant, walking into crowded rooms, feeling the air shift, like the energy wrapped around me too tight, people talking, laughing, connecting in me, standing at the edge, wondering why I felt like I didn't belong. That quiet ache, that pull inside, turns out, it wasn't me being strange. It was me being marked. And maybe you felt that too. Have you ever felt that, like you're part of the world but not really of it? Like you're meant to be somewhere else, doing something more that's not your imagination playing tricks on you? That's your soul trying to remind you who you are. But here's what most people miss. Not everyone with these marks is allowed to walk with the many. In ancient teachings, these marks weren't just signs, they were boundaries. They meant you were forbidden from blending into the crowd. Why? Because your energy wasn't designed to fit. It was meant to stand apart. Think about it. Have you ever stepped into a party, a gathering, and felt your chest tighten for no reason, like every noise, every voice, every smile pulled a little piece of you away? That's not shyness. That's your spirit telling you, this space doesn't align. Your aura, your energy field, it works differently. It's a magnet for truth, but also a mirror for shadows. And when you carry light, you don't just illuminate, you reveal. That's why some people pull away. That's why some friendships fade without explanation. That's why certain rooms drain you. It's not rejection, it's protection. Because not every space deserves your frequency. Not every relationship can hold what you carry. The path of the chosen one has never been the wide road. It is lonely, deep, often misunderstood, but also divine, guided, and filled with revelations that only those who carry these marks can truly understand. Let's talk about the meaning behind those marks. If you've ever stared at your hand and traced that faint M or that subtle curve that looks like a crescent moon, you might have wondered, is this really just a random line, or is there something deeper written into my skin across many ancient cultures? From Buddhist monks to mystics and shamans, the answer has always been clear. Those marks aren't accidents. They're signs. They're maps. They're proof that you carry something inside you that the world needs. The letter M itself has held power for centuries. It stands for mercy, miracles, and mission. Mercy, because you've always been the kind of person who feels other people's pain deeply. Even as a child, you might have been the one who cried watching sad movies, who stayed up thinking about a friend's struggle, who wanted to fix things even when no one asked you to. That's not weakness. That's a heart tuned into the suffering of the world. A heart placed in you for a reason. Miracles because, whether you've noticed or not, your presence changes things. Maybe people have told you they feel better just being around you. Maybe animals are drawn to you, following you down the street or curling up at your feet. Maybe strangers have stopped you to tell you their life story. That's not random. That's your energy field working as a quiet healer, a walking light in places that have grown dark. And that's why, even if you don't see it yet, miracles tend to happen around you. It's because you were not born to float through life without purpose. That M on your hand, it's a reminder. You were born to do something only you can do. And maybe you haven't figured it out yet. Maybe you've spent years feeling lost, trying to fit into paths that didn't feel quite right. But deep down, you've always known there was more. That's because there is. And that M, it's a quiet nudge from the universe saying, keep searching, keep listening. Your mission will unfold exactly when it's meant to. Now let's talk about the crescent moon. In spiritual teachings, the crescent moon is a symbol of transformation, cycles, and rebirth. Just like the moon moves through phases, so do you. There have been times in your life when everything seemed to fall apart. Jobs lost, friendships ended, plans crumbled, and maybe you wondered why it all had to break. But what if I told you those breakdowns were actually breakthroughs in disguise? The crescent moon on your palm reminds you that every ending is quietly preparing ye. The crescent moon is also a sign of quiet power. Think about the moon itself. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't compete with the sun. It shows up, night after night, casting soft light in the darkness. That's you. You're not here to dominate. You're here to illuminate. And just like the moon influences the tides without saying a word, your presence influences the energy of every room you enter, whether you realize it or not. Have you ever walked into a space and felt the mood shift? Have you ever spoken a few words and noticed people stop to listen? That's not coincidence. That's the energy you carry working in ways your logical mind can't fully explain. And it's because you've been marked. Not just marked to carry this energy, but marked to protect it, to honor it, and to eventually use it in ways that help others awaken to their own light. Throughout history, people who carried these marks were often misunderstood. Prophets, healers, teachers, they didn't have easy paths. Many were rejected, isolated, or even ridiculed before they were recognized. And maybe you felt some of that too. Maybe you've wondered why people drift away from you, why groups don't feel like home, why fitting in has always been a little harder. It's because you weren't meant to fit. You were meant to stand apart so that when the time came, your voice, your light, your priest. Let me tell you a story. There was once a healer in a small village. She had no official title, no degree, no certificate. But people came from miles around because somehow, when they sat in her presence, their burdens felt lighter, their hearts felt heard, their tears felt seen. She didn't do anything grand. She simply listened. She simply held space. And that was enough. The mark she carried wasn't on paper. It was written into her being, and in her quiet way, she changed the lives of hundreds. You carry that same energy, and you may not even know it yet, but the marks are reminders. Reminders that your life matters in ways beyond what you can see today. They remind you that you're part of a bigger story, a story that's unfolding exactly as it should, even if it feels slow, even if it feels lonely. Sometimes the mark is visible to the world. Sometimes it's only visible to your soul. Either way, it's real, and it's calling you to remember. You've walked through pain, not because you deserved it, but because you needed to understand depth. You've known loss so you could develop compassion. You've been broken open so light could pour in. The mark is a badge, yes, but it's also a promise. A promise that everything you've experienced is preparing you for what's coming next. So every time you feel unseen, unheard, overlooked, touch that mark on your palm and remember you are known, you are seen, you are chosen, and your time is coming. And here's something even deeper. Think about every time you've offered comfort to someone who didn't have the words to explain their pain. Think about the moments when your quiet presence was enough, when someone sat beside you and simply felt safe without knowing why. That, too, is part of your mark. The mark isn't always about grand gestures or loud declarations. Sometimes, it's about being a sanctuary in human form. There's a story in many cultures about the hidden ones, those who walk among the world carrying unseen wisdom, unseen strength. They're not famous. They're not on stages, but they're quietly weaving threads of healing, kindness, and compassion through their everyday interactions. You might be one of them. Maybe you've been the person others confide in late at night. Maybe you've been the listener when no one else had time. Maybe you've been the steady hand when everything around felt chaotic. That's not random. That's sacred. The truth is, having these marks isn't about being better than anyone. It's about being entrusted with a responsibility. It's about carrying a depth of soul that this world desperately needs. It's about standing in places of pain and offering hope. It's about seeing beauty where others only see brokenness. And while that can feel heavy at times, while it can feel like you're carrying too much, it's because you're equipped to carry it. You see, the M, the crescent moon, they're reminders that you are both tender and strong, that you can hold space for others while still holding on to your own light, that you can bend without breaking, and every scar, every ache, every tear has been woven into the fabric of your mission. Nothing has been wasted. So today, as you look at your hand, I hope you see more than lines. I hope you see legacy. I hope you see a path carved by generations before you. I hope you realize that your presence is the answer to prayers you'll never hear, for people you may never meet, in ways you may never fully understand. And that's the quiet beauty of carrying the mark, knowing that even in silence, you are making an impact that echoes beyond what words can measure. Now that you know what these marks mean, the next step is about activation. Knowledge without action is like holding a key, but never unlocking the door. This is where we move from simply understanding to actually living out what's been written into your being. And it starts with a ritual, not a complicated one, not something you need fancy tools for. Just you, your hands, and the willingness to step forward. Tonight, I want you to begin with water. Water has always been seen as a purifier, a carrier of energy. Think about how rivers cleanse the land, how rain refreshes the earth. There's something ancient and powerful about using water as a tool for letting go. Stand by a sink or basin. Let cool water flow over your hands. As you feel the water touch your skin, imagine it washing away every doubt, every negative word ever spoken over you, every fear that's tried to keep you small. Say quietly, I release what no. Now, dry your hands slowly, intentionally. Feel the weight that's lifted, even if it's subtle. And as you do, move into the second part breath. Place your hands on your chest, right over your heart. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose for 7 seconds. Hold that breath for 4. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8. Do this 4 times. And as you breathe, picture light filling your lungs, expanding your chest, breaking through every barrier you've ever felt. Every breath is a dekla. After your breathing, it's time for the declaration. This is where you speak your truth out loud. Say these words with intention, as if every syllable is planting seeds into your future. Tonight, I awaken the miracle within me. Tonight, I remember who I am. Speak it again, louder if you can. Feel the vibration of your own voice ringing through your chest. There's power in hearing yourself claim your identity. And finally, seal this moment. Bring your palms to your lips. Blow gently across them. Say, what I awaken tonight cannot be undone. What I've claimed is mine. This is me. This is my time. This small act might seem simple, but it's symbolic. It's you sending your intention into the world, marking the moment where you chose to say yes to your calling. You might wonder, does this really work? Here's what I want you to know. Science shows that visualization combined with physical action creates real changes in the brain. Athletes use it. Performers use it. Healers use it. When you pair imagery with motion, your nervous system begins to believe it's already happening. So every time you do this ritual, you're not pretending, you're programming, you're rehearsing the reality you're stepping into. And here's the beautiful thing. You can do this ritual as often as you need, maybe once a week, maybe every night for a season. Each time, it deepens the pathway. Each time, it strengthens your resolve. And each time, you're telling the universe, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm available. Some people might laugh at rituals like this. They might say it's silly, but those same people have never stood in your shoes. They've never carried what you carry. They've never been marked the way you've been marked. And they'll never understand what it feels like to say yes to a destiny bigger than you. So let them laugh. Let them doubt. You keep showing up anyway. I remember a story about a woman who every night would light a candle, sit quietly, and whisper affirmations over her life. She wasn't wealthy. She wasn't famous. But over time, doors opened for her that no one could explain. Opportunities found her. People sought her out. And when asked her secret, she simply smiled and said, I spoke it before I saw it. That's the heart of this ritual. Speaking what's unseen until it becomes seen. You're not begging the universe. You're partnering with it. You're aligning with the path already prepared for you. And the more you align, the more effortless it feels. Synchronicities increase. Connections appear. And little by little, you begin to walk in what once felt impossible. So tonight, as you wash your hands, as you breathe that light, as you declare those words, know that something shifts. Maybe not instantly, maybe not visibly, but inside, at the level where change truly begins. And over time, those inner shifts ripple outward into your life, shaping opportunities, aligning moments, weaving a story you were always meant to live. There's a quiet strength in rituals like this. It reminds you that you are not powerless, that even in a world filled with noise and chaos, you have the ability to pause, to center, to choose again. And every time you choose to remember who you are, every time you choose to claim your mark, you strengthen that connection between you and the higher calling on your life. I want you to know this too. There is no perfect way to do this ritual. It's not about getting every step right. It's about showing up with your heart open. It's about meaning what you say. It's about giving yourself permission to believe, even if just for a moment, that you are more powerful than you've been taught. And the more you practice, the more natural it feels. One day, you'll look back and realize this small act of faith was the turning point. Tonight is your turning point, and if you're wondering how long it takes to feel the shift, let me reassure you. Some people notice it right away, a sense of lightness, clarity, or peace. Others feel it building over time, like a slow but steady awakening inside. Both experiences are valid. This ritual isn't a race or a checklist. It's a relationship. Each time you return to it, you're deepening that connection with your own inner wisdom, with the universe, and with the part of you that has always known the way forward. Let me tell you about a friend who began doing this ritual every night for a month. At first, she wasn't sure it was making a difference. But by the second week, she started seeing patterns in her life, unexpected opportunities, meaningful conversations, even dreams that gave her clarity about decisions she'd been struggling with. By the end of the month, she felt stronger, more grounded, more confident than she had in years. And she said something that stuck with me. I didn't change the world, but I change. That's the heart of this practice. It's not about controlling everything around you. It's about shifting what's inside you so that what's outside begins to align. When you step into the energy of the ritual, you're stepping into a different vibration. You're saying, I'm ready to see things differently. I'm ready to believe something greater is possible. And here's another beautiful truth: you can adapt this ritual to fit your life. Maybe you want to add music that soothes you. Maybe you light a candle to symbolize your inner light. Maybe you journal after each session to capture insights or feelings. There's no rigid formula. There's just you, showing up, choosing to honor the marks you carry, choosing to honor the journey you're on. Every time you perform this ritual, you're reminding yourself that you are an active participant in your own healing, your own growth, your own transformation. You're not waiting for permission. You're not waiting for perfect circumstances. You're claiming your space, your light. Your role as someone who was born to make a difference, even if that difference starts quietly, in a small room, with water, breath, and a whisper. And one last thing, don't underestimate the power of these simple acts. The world is full of noise, full of distractions pulling you in every direction. But the most powerful transformations often begin in silence, in stillness, in moments when you choose to listen deeply. That's what this ritual offers you: a chance to hear your own soul again, to reconnect with the part of you that's always been guiding you, patiently waiting for you to turn inward and remember. So tonight, when you stand at that sink, when you let the water flow over your hands, know that you're not just washing away the day. You're washing away lifetimes of fear, layers of doubt, walls that no longer serve you. And as you breathe in light, as you speak those words, as you blow across your palms, understand that you are stepping into a new chapter, a chapter where you carry your marks with pride, where you walk your path with courage, and where you finally embrace the truth you were never meant to be. Do you feel it now? That quiet recognition rising inside you. What you once thought were just random marks on your palm are actually ancient maps guiding you back to yourself. Every moment you felt like you didn't belong, every time you stood at the edge watching the world from a distance, it all makes sense now. You were never meant to walk the crowded paths. You were meant to forge a trail few would dare to take. Think about it. The most powerful lights are never placed in the middle of a crowd. They're set on a hill, where their glow can reach the farthest corners. That's you. Your separation wasn't a punishment. It was positioning. It was the universe placing you exactly where you needed to be, so that when your light shines, it illuminates places others can't even see. And yes, I know it hasn't been easy. I know there have been nights when you cried, wondering why no one seemed to understand you, why every door. But listen closely, every closed door, every goodbye, every lonely season wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to build you, like a sculptor chiseling away at stone to reveal a masterpiece. Life has been shaping you, refining you, preparing you. And now you're standing at the threshold of the very thing you were born for. Tonight marks a turning point. Tonight isn't just another evening. It's a marker in your story. It's the moment you say yes to the mission written into your very being. When you look at your hands tonight, don't just see lines. See legacy. See promise. See destiny. And when you step into the ritual, know that you're not doing it alone. You're stepping into a lineage of souls who've carried light through the ages, quiet warriors who've healed, taught, loved, and transformed their corners of the world simply by showing up. And maybe you're thinking, can I really do this? Am I strong enough? Let me remind you, the very fact that you're here, listening, feeling that stirring inside, proves you're ready. You wouldn't be drawn to these words if the time hadn't already come. The call isn't coming from outside you. It's rising from within you. So here's what I want you to take with you tonight. Your marks are not just signs. They're signatures. They're reminders from the divine that you've been equipped with everything you need. The sensitivity, the compassion, the intuition, even the struggles, they've all been preparing you. You're not behind. You're not missing out. You're right on time. And as you move forward, don't measure your path by how many people walk beside you. The chosen path is often walked alone. But alone doesn't mean abandoned. Alone means anointed. And every step you take in faith, every small act of obedience, every time you honor the call inside, you're lighting the way for someone else to find their path too. I want you to hold on to this truth. Your story isn't random. Your journey isn't a mistake. Every twist, every delay, every unexpected turn has been part of a divine choreography leading you here. And here is sacred. Here is powerful. Here is the starting place of the rest of your destiny. So tonight, as you wash your hands, as you breathe in light, as you declare those words, let your heart know that you've crossed into a new chapter. A chapter where you no longer question if you belong, where you no longer wonder if you're enough, where you finally walk in the fullness of who you've always been. And when you wake tomorrow, carry that knowing with you. Carry it in your conversations, in your decisions, in your quiet moments, because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs your authentic light, your unique voice, your irreplaceable presence. You were chosen for such a time as this, and now you rise. If your heart is beating a little faster right now, if your palms feel a little warmer, don't ignore that. That's your spirit saying yes. That's your deeper self recognizing the truth of what's been spoken over you. So here's what I want you to do. Right now, leave a comment with the number 555 below. It's a simple act, but it's powerful. It's you stepping forward. It's you saying, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm open. And when you do, something shifts. It's a moment of agreement between you and the universe. And while you're here, make sure to like this video as a way of sealing this moment. Subscribe so you don't miss the next step on this journey, because we're just getting started. There's more wisdom coming. There are more keys to unlock. And you're not just a listener anymore. You're a participant. You're part of this movement, this awakening, this remembering. So take that step. I'll meet you in the next video. And together, we'll keep rising,